Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And I think today we actually have one of the most interesting videos I've made in a very long while. As the long story short is, I'm kind of basically giving you guys a tutorial on how I got into a couple of really insane altcoins, all the different steps and what different altcoins there's going to be that I think you can use these things for. A lot of you guys have been asking me time and time again to build a tutorial, and I'm a little bit, sorry if there's some problems with the streaming quality, guys, but this is the best that I can do. So I am going to try my best here to explain all the different steps as to how I get into some of these projects, plus the date, plus some additional pieces of information. And if that's something for you, keep watching, as I'll be announcing every single time that one of these coins does something as well. I'll keep you guys in the loop for everything that's going on. And I think November is about to be a crazy freaking month, which is why I keep asking for you guys' support as well on the channel, as these things are about to go freaking crazy, at least I hope. So a little rundown of the market real quick, guys, just a couple of seconds. Things are coming down a little bit, and what we do in those times, we buy the dip. Because I keep telling people as well, I'm not really too worried about crypto just pumping to the moon. I think what we are kind of witnessing right now is people's uncertainty in another fashion, or like, just again, I don't know how to explain it best to you guys, but I think right now, it's a crazy time to buy myself up on some altcoins. And I'm not talking in this video about altcoins that are already out on the market, guys. I'm going to be talking about how I buy some coins that are not on the market just quite yet. And there's basically 3 different steps. One of them involves buying the coin very soon after it's launched. We often call it sniping. Option number 2 is to buy the coin via whitelist, which is basically luck. And option number 3 is to buy the coin via staking, which basically is you are reserving your spot because you are involved with the platform where it's launching on. And if you guys are interested in this information, guys, make sure you press that like button. So let's quickly go over the first project, which is going to be launching. And I should actually put in timestamps down below as well. But my computer, by the way, guys, is so laggy because of all the things I have open. I have a lot of tabs open, but specifically these tabs, they take a lot of power from you. They take you. All right, it's a lot of rendering that they're doing because of all the moving parts. And even though it's a, I don't know, $3,000 MacBook, it can't really handle that type of stuff too much. But Velhalla is number 1. All right, this is one of the coins which is going to be incubated by BlueZilla. I've talked it over before and before. If it's incubated by BlueZilla, there's a very good chance that this coin is just going to go nuts, which is why I invest in them. The last one I bought into was Velaspad, this one that went 300. In the end of the day, it actually went 400 and, I think 450x, but what they put down is 380. So we got 450x our money. Theoretically speaking, if we put in $1,000, we got $450,000 in return. But I also invested in BitOrbit, and we also got into the Velaspad one. So Velaspad was 300x, BitOrbit was 214x, so to speak. And so right now, I'm just going to be going into most things that they launch because I just know these guys know their stuff. Let me just put it like that. Not everything will go 100. Again, we look at this one, but I'm pretty excited about them specifically because of this coin that's launching. It's called Velhalla. We can see here very low initial market cap, very low public price, but most important is the market cap, because you already know once it's going to launch, there's a good chance that people will buy in like crazy, so the price can do some interesting stuff. Now, it's going to be on Velas, which basically is a specific chain. Like you have the Ethereum chain, the Binance Smart chain, you have the Velas chain. There's a couple of different steps that you need to take to actually get yourself on that chain if you want to buy in via a couple of platforms like the Velaspad here. But let me explain all the different steps as we go on here, guys. I'll get you guys through. All right, so Velhalla, it's a metaverse project. There are a metaverse unlike any other out there on the market. It allows users to immerse themselves in a new universe driven by the Velas blockchain. You guys get it. Metaverse project, the first one ever on the Velas chain. There are 2 different ways to buy, or at least 2 different partners to use, the Velaspad and Gamezone. And I'm going to try to close as many tabs as possible whenever I've talked about what I need to talk about. And I think we've talked about this subject, so let's move on real quick. It is going to be launching on the Gamezone and the Velaspad, as I said. Now, guys, let me quickly get you all this small little tutorial. So if you want to get it on a platform like Gamezone or Velaspad, the only option basically is to go through staking. And staking obviously requires money. If you want the other two options, they're always available, but you don't need a tutorial from me. Number one is to wait for the IDO, the initial DEX offering, and basically buy it as soon as it becomes public and launches. What a lot of people do is they try to buy as soon as the coin becomes public so they can still get the crazy gains over the next couple of minutes. Once more, it's called sniping. Option number two is the whitelist, and how you usually get there is by going to the community right here via the website, or to the community via Twitter or something like that, and there will be a link for whitelist. You fill it in with your address down below, and you might get yourself a spot. Those are so easy though that I'm not really sure what I should showcase here. I think you guys will definitely be able to figure that out. One important thing to notice though is that you should only use the proper tools that are provided by CoinMarketCap, meaning press something that's on the website, from the website, or go to one of these community tabs. In the Telegram, only use the one that it says on the website, or one that it says on their own Twitter, for example. Don't type in Velhalla Telegram or website and go to a .com, for example, because you might get scammed. Let's go over how to actually stake your coins on Gamezone though, if that were to be something that you'd want to do. So a little disclaimer guys, staking of course is subject to a couple of risks. The price can fluctuate, and I guess that's basically what it is. I mean, there's obviously, I guess, other risks that I'm not thinking of right now, but the most important risk is that the price can fluctuate. Why am I saying that? Well, because if you bought Gamezone, the coin which you'd have to stake to be able to buy on Gamezone a couple of days ago, you could have bought it for about 60 cents, while right now the price is almost about 95. It's 93.67. And how does this work? How does the staking all work, and why do we do that? Well, because guys, let's look back at this whole Velhalla thing. We saw on the website that they had about $150,000 of an initial market cap, meaning they only have $150,000 worth of spots that people can buy into. They give some away for completely free, some for completely free just for joining the whitelist, where you sometimes have to follow them on Twitter and sometimes join their Telegram, for example. Now, they also give a couple of spots to these launch pads, which are once more Gamezone and then the Velaspad one, which, by the way, are the websites that don't launch or don't open so easily because, I don't know, they just lag. And that's also why they want you to stake their tokens, because if you do that, then they'll give you a spot. They'll basically give you weight in the pool of coins that they can give away to other people. And usually there's a pretty good ROI on whatever spot that you can get. And so that's basically what I've been focusing on today, to kind of get people in the Telegram to understand the different steps and all that. But there's so many questions, guys. I try. Let's go over it. So over on Gamezone, this is, to be honest with you, the easiest out of most. This actually is pretty similar to a lot of other swaps, like the NFT launch and the, I think the BSC pad, for example. You can buy the token, Gamezone, on Uniswap or PancakeSwap if you want to stake. Let's say, for example, we used PancakeSwap because I've literally just done that to make sure that I know exactly all the steps and I'm not forgetting something. So what I basically did is there's two options. One, you go to this website, which is very laggy. I'm sorry for that. You press buy on PancakeSwap. It sends you over here. You buy it with your BNB. And again, make sure you remember this little screen, right? Because you afterwards need to press this little button of add to MetaMask. Little side note. But basically what you could do is you press that button, or you go to CoinMarketCap, copy the address right here, and put it in as one of your tokens at the bottom that you want to buy from your BNB. Step number two is you need some BNB in your MetaMask, for example. But these are all simple steps that I think everybody should understand already when you're trying to get into these things. Because if you don't understand some of these steps, guys, make sure you watch some proper tutorials before getting into this, as there is some crazy reward, but it can get a little bit difficult. So let's again step it up. Step number one, make a MetaMask. Step number two, add the Binance Smart Chain to your MetaMask. These simple tutorials I'm going to launch over on Patreon today because I don't know. I think I should put a couple of those tutorials on there. However, you can definitely find that stuff on YouTube. Once you've got the BSC, the Binance Smart Chain, over on your MetaMask, put some BNB in it. And then, theoretically speaking, right, if you want to do this, you have to buy some Gamezone. There's two ways. Either you press the button on the website to go to PancakeSwap and they put it in, or you add the contract yourself. Now, once you've done that, you basically, again, just press swap with some whatever slippage you want to buy it with. And once you've got the tokens, you press the button of add to MetaMask. So once you've added it to MetaMask, you go to Gamezone here. You go to press launch app. It says it somewhere. I don't remember here. Open app. And let me close this website now, finally. The different tiers, by the way, you can find out for yourself down below here. You can see the different tiers of staking that you could go for. Once you're on the app, which we're finally here, I just bought $100 just to make sure I understood all the steps here for Gamezone specifically. How you go about it is you connect your MetaMask. I've done that here. Boom. Sometimes it says 0. Just refresh or press disconnect and connect again. It's as simple as that. Just connect a couple of times. Make sure, however, that the Gamezone is on the Binance Smart Chain for this specific part. You can see MetaMask connected. Okay, boom. I got myself a little bit of G-Zone. Okay, boom. I got myself some BNB to provide the gas, which is very low, by the way. And boom, I'm eligible. It says here you cannot stake if you're trying to withdraw something, but I'm not. So all I have to do is press the I have read button, I think. And then usually, well, maybe now something is wrong because of maybe I've been stalling for too long or something like that. This is interesting. If I press it, I cannot go to next, otherwise I can. So that's not normal completely. However, normally, again, you press the button. Maybe it's because I just pressed it and I closed a different tab or something like that, and now it's bugging out. I don't really know, but you just go through the steps here, put in 50. You go on here, you press next, it sends you to MetaMask. That's it. It's that literally that simple, guys. There's no difficult parts in this one. You press next like 5 times, go to MetaMask, and boom, it shows up here. I just tried it out myself. Extremely simple. That's, I guess, part number 1 for how to use Gamezone to stake, which is once more one of the 3 different options that you have to get these things. Somebody says, are you reading the chat? I hope you actually have read the terms and conditions. I have read every single part of this. I've gone through. However, I did not press it just now. Maybe you actually have to read them. Oh, that's what you meant, to press it? No, because I can press it now without actually... I mean, I'm not exactly sure what that is all about. But that is the way in which it works for Gamezone. This is fairly simple because it's all on the Binance Smart Chain. You can see here, it says BNB available because that's our base pair. That's the one we use to pay some fees. Simple. The difficulty kind of steps up when trying to get this stuff over on Velaspad. All right, I'm just going to be honest with you. It's a little bit more difficult. However, guys, make sure you press that like button if you enjoy this stuff. Some people say rug pull. It's been going on. Whatever, man. If you think this is something for you, go for it. Otherwise, don't. You can obviously just look back at any one of these projects or the company, decide for yourself what is smart. It's worked for me for a very long time. That's all I'm going to say, I guess, to that degree. You'll see. We're going to go live every single time that one of these things launches. Very legitimate company. You guys know about BlueZilla for a long time now. They have launch pads. Launch pads are one of the most hot things in crypto right now. The next one is going to launch is the Meta VPAD, which you're going to get into. And for that, I think Velaspad is also allowed. But I digress. So on Velaspad, things get a little bit more difficult. How you, by the way, go about actually buying it. It will basically say somewhere here, projects. Let's go. On projects, it'll show up on the top at the moment that the launch is actually there. So right now it shows it at the bottom. You can see here this launch is going to be coming up. It shows up at the top and it'll show you how much money you can buy into it. Of course, I don't have enough money in here to actually get into one, but it will open up on the top here. You press through and you need to use BUSD for this one. That's what it says right there. All right, so the second option, I guess, is the Velaspad one, which once more, guys, is a little bit more difficult. Will you ever mention Pulse Chain? Yeah, we mentioned Pulse Chain every here and there. Oh, you guys are talking about XR Doge as a rug pull. I was like, what are they talking about? What about NFT Launch? NFT Launch is actually exactly the same thing as this one. We are all having problems using the BSC. Alexander, check the Telegram because we went over every single step with one of the guys in Telegram. So there's a couple of people in there who know because the NFT Launch is exactly the same as Gamezone. It is extremely simple, but I think the guys used Ethereum. Yet there's also a YouTube video for how to use the BSC. It's literally like simple as the one that I just showed you guys. It's only Velaspad that has a couple of extra steps that you might need to take care of and might need to understand. So to let me quickly put in a little timestamp here. So Velhalla Gamezone, and then now for the other one, I guess I'm doing an elaborate guide, huh? Velaspad. Okay, there we go. So for Velaspad now. So for Velaspad, as I said before, guys, it's a little bit more difficult, I'm going to be honest with you, because it is on the Velas chain if you actually want to get things done. So if we go to staking somewhere on this website, by the way, I think Velaspad is also way more expensive to get into, but I'm not too sure about that. Don't quote me on that. Here you can see PulsePad, which I bought, which went crazy, and BitOrbit, I bought that one too. That went really well as well. Let's quickly see here. So it will show up on the top, but then here on the top, and you can press the button and whatnot. I actually have money in Velaspad myself, but this is a different MetaMask, so you will not see anything, I hope, on this one. I don't think there's any money in this one. So the staking process, basically all the steps are the same. However, it'll say here instead of BNB, you need to have Velas. And now there is a chance that there's actually it's also possible to do with BSC. It might be that you can actually change it around. Like we have the multi-chain for NFT launch with BSC and ETH, but I didn't actually do my own due diligence properly. A couple of the videos I checked out said that you have to do it for Velas, or with Velas, basically. There's no other way around it, which does make a little bit of sense when it's called Velaspad, that you need Velas, which is a specific cryptocurrency, to actually do all of this. It just made sense to me. So how it basically works is you connect your MetaMask, you put in your Velaspad, you have some Velas, and you go stake. Simple, right? Well, there's a couple of ways to get it. So you can actually buy this Velaspad crypto on the Binance Smart Chain. Very simple to do. If you go to the Velaspad website, which I can quickly press here maybe. Here we go. You'll definitely find here to buy it on PancakeSwap or Uniswap. If I had to choose something, I would choose PancakeSwap. That's my own personal preference because of lower fees than on Uniswap with Ethereum. Once I've got those tokens, I actually also have to buy some Velas then, potentially. Or there's a couple of different options, right? If let's say I do that, let's say hypothetically speaking, I buy it on PancakeSwap here, where you just press the button, you buy it with BNB, for example, boom, you got yourself Velaspad. Okay, then what we'd have to do is go to the bridge, of which there's a link, like I think here at the top right, bridge. I don't know if you guys can see this on the live stream. Here's a bridge. We'd go there, we'd swap our tokens, the Velaspad, which you type in here, Velaspad, from the Binance Smart Chain to the Velas network, connect wallet, and then you press boom, you're done. It will cost you a couple of dollars to do that, so just understand that. And once they're on the Velas chain, you have the Velaspad on there, and so you can stake. However, you'd also need a little bit of Velas to basically pay for the gas. Right here it said the VLX pad is one step, but you do need some Velas. So there's two options. One, you can go to like the Wagyu swap, for example, and actually sell some VLX for some Velas, or some Velaspad for some Velas. This Velas is kind of confusing me a little bit in words. Or you basically do everything from Wagyu swap from the get-go. So basically you start from the Velas chain and do everything. I guess one thing I should almost not forget to mention, and by the way guys, I'm not the best at making tutorials. This is the first tutorial I've ever done, so if you think it's bad, I'm also trying, okay? I'm literally trying to give all the ins and outs, but because I'm trying so hard, you almost start to forget things. So a couple of things I almost forgot to say now is that if you have not added the Velas chain to your MetaMask, I believe if you try to buy something on one of these platforms, it'll just ask you to also put it in. I'll also let go of some small things on Patreon about that. But you can also use, I think, Chain List is one I've used, and I think there's another one. Let me quickly type. Token Magic. There's two websites, tokenmagic.app or Chain List, which I've just shared the name of. And what you can basically do is I'll show you guys. Give me a second to open up the website here because everything is laggy because I have like 5,000 Velaspad websites open. Let's quickly wait for this to load in. Or whatever. Once Token Magic loads, you basically have to type in Velas, and you can add the chain here. It's actually already at the top. You can see here, you add the Velas chain, so you can actually see that in your MetaMask, because people have to also add that, obviously. You can also do that for the Binance Smart Chain if you didn't do that yet. All those steps are in there too. Let's see. Too complicated. Yeah, I'm going to say the Gamezone one is the easiest to get to. This second one is a little bit more steps because you do need your Velas and your Velaspad on the Velas chain, so there's a couple of additional steps. I would personally say, if for simplicity, Gamezone on the BSC is the easiest by far. And same thing for NFT launch, BSC pad. Most things that are not involving a specific chain that you do not know is easiest. If it's on Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain or even Tron for that matter, it's simple. Unless you've never used Tron, then Tron is also difficult. So, to kind of conclude here, a couple of different steps. You can actually buy everything on Wagyu Swap first and then switch it over all there. But you guys hopefully get it now. You have the foundations. Woo, getting almost nervous here, guys, of all this explanation. So, that's it for the staking part. The whitelist part you guys can easily find. And the sniping part, I guess I should quickly explain. So, I cannot say that this is a good or bad thing. All right, the staking I've done myself. The sniping I've actually never done. But some of my friends do it. And I'll quickly explain to you guys how it works. So, for very anticipated launches, like the ones we are seeing right now, what people basically do is they go onto some platforms like a Uniswap or a PancakeSwap. Specifically, just the first swap, it could even be Wagyu, that it lists on, like the coin pulse pad here listed first on PancakeSwap, 30 minutes later on WagyuSwap, 30 minutes later on Uniswap or some other order. But first PancakeSwap. What people basically do is they set their orders in up front. They know what they have to do. They know what they want to do, so to speak. And they buy it the moment that it launches, basically. And you cannot buy it the moment, like the minute before, like some people do. I'm not sure what type of bots do that or how exactly that gets done. Like here you can see a little bit before and it was already going up. But usually, let's say about the first couple of minutes you get to buy in. And then you basically enjoy the gains from there on forward. Like here, the first couple of minutes, this is the first 15 minutes, it went to as high as 13 cents, which is still 130x. But you can see over the next couple of hours and days, actually, it basically still tripled in value. So the earlier that you can buy in this first wick, some crazy gains are still to be made. As one of my friends did manage to buy in at about 1 cent and basically 40x or so his money throughout this journey. It's a little bit more difficult because you do need to understand how a DEX works, and it doesn't always work smoothly, as it's not always simple to buy. But it's definitely going up because of this reason, so to speak, because people do basically understand how to buy. Now, I kind of overstate my welcome here, I think, a little bit. I might make another video here, guys, going a little bit more concise about all these steps. Just like from beginning to end. I thought let me quickly do a stream to see if there's some questions, but now I'm thinking people are not really asking questions about this specific stuff. They're more so talking about XR Doge. And once more, if you're worried about or no, wondering why these prices go up so much for the Pulse Pad or the Velaspad in terms of price of the actual coin, people basically buy this token because they know there's going to be more launches on there soon that they would have to buy the token for to stake. And so it's very logical that people try to buy in as soon as possible and just hold on to not maybe even cash out their gains because they just know it's usually a very smart thing to do. However, again, I cannot decide for you if it's a good thing to get these tokens or not. All I'm doing here, guys, as you guys know, is just informing you on what I'm doing and giving you guys all the information that you requested for. Again, I'm also not perfect at making these tutorials just quite yet. The time for listing will be known up front. The contract will be known up front. You will get most things up front. I'm going to be going live a little bit before it happens as well. This launch from Velhalla is going to be the 16th, so it's going to be in 2 days. If you're, I guess, interested about any other launches, if you're not from the US, guys, because most things the US doesn't have a lot of fun for crypto anymore, I personally think. There's also this opportunity on Bybit. I think, I'm just going to be honest with you, this is the easiest one to get into for most people because all you need is to go on Bybit, make yourself an account with the link down below, and get yourself some BIT. Once you have some BIT here, over the next couple of days, it'll basically average out how much BIT you have. It's a snapshot, which basically means over the next 5 days, it'll look in your balance, see how much BIT you have, and then say, hey, you had this much BIT, so you're allowed to buy this much of the Gene token. I will definitely buy the Gene. $400 is the maximum that we can go for, but I'm going to do that. And yeah, I think Gene is just a juicy one to just buy as well. I'm just personally pretty excited about that one. There's a couple other launches that's going to come out, like the Meta V Pad. There's a couple other ones that I'm also kind of forgetting right now. We'll get into all of those as time moves on. This is just a quick little tutorial for the Velhalla one. So there's 3 different steps once more. The whitelist is basically the freest, easiest option. You just put your address down in one of their whitelists and do a couple of steps that they say and you wait. Option number 2 is the sniping, and option number 3 is the staking, which I hopefully explained a little bit here in not the easiest fashion. Hopefully you guys still enjoyed though. Make sure you press the like button. If you have any more questions, just join the Telegram, ask around a little bit, because I think at least from this small tutorial, a lot more people got the steps down. And even though it wasn't perfect, I'm going to get back to it and I'm going to improve and improve and improve. And next time, I'm going to give you guys an even better tutorial when the next coin launches because I'm also trying, guys. I'm just trying my stuff. So, yeah. This soda stream is not for U.S. customers. So the only problem with the U.S. is there's, for some things, KYC needed. So I'm not exactly sure what U.S. residents wants to do about that. There's always an option, but I'm not the guy to tell you that. So for the U.S., if you cannot buy into some coins early, what can I tell you? I mean, in the U.S., you cannot buy coins before they launch. It's just, I think it might be impossible if you do it following the normal route. But you can also not do a lot of things in the U.S. You cannot use most exchanges. You cannot use a lot of things. So I'm not sure to tell you what to tell you about that one. A lot of people, they go for the sniping method, which is basically trying to buy these coins as soon as possible. Flip Crypto says terrible info. All right. You know what? I will try my best next time to get you more information and more concise. I planned it out up front, but it wasn't as easy as I expected to actually make the video. All right. Right. Make sure you just join the Telegram, guys. I'll get back to it. All right, guys? I'll get back to it. So that was it for right now. I'm going to think back on how I can make this video a little bit better next time for y'all. And just stick around on the channel. Make sure you subscribe, guys. I'll make everything clear as time moves on. I'm trying my best. All right? So thank you guys all.